Here's a check on stories we're following for you today on Robin Hood Radio. Our forecast for the tri-state region calls for a mostly cloudy day today, a high possibly reaching near 40. We'll get the details from Pat Pagano coming your way in just a few moments. Let's take a look at stories we're following for you today here on Robin Hood Radio. About 85% of Connecticut schools are dropping the mask rule, according to Governor Ned Lamont. Those school districts across the state have elected to drop mandatory face mask wearing as of yesterday, the day when local officials were allowed to decide whether to extend the state's mask mandate. But he made it clear that he thinks it's fine that some districts, including Hartford, New Haven, and Waterbury, are keeping the mandate in place for now. The Department of Public Health recently released guidelines to school districts regarding the metrics they should consider when deciding to end the mask mandate or restart required mask wearing if another outbreak develops in the future. The Connecticut State House modifies its mask rules. Masks are optional, and they're opening to the public. The State House of Representatives making optional inside the 151-seat chamber under updated COVID-19 protocols that were announced yesterday. In addition, the second floor of the state capitol, where the House chamber is located, will be open to the public again, but face masks must be worn. Also, House members will continue to have the option of voting in person or from their offices in the Legislative Office building. The third floor of the Capitol, where the state Senate chamber is seated, will remain closed to the public, according to a spokesman. Members of the public have been limited to the first floor of the Capitol and the adjacent Legislative Office building since the Capitol complex was reopened to the general public last July, after being closed since the start of the pandemic in March of 2020. Only the first floor of the Legislative Office building, where legislative committees meet, will be open to the general public. Face masks must be worn there as well. If you travel on the Mid-Hudson Bridge, this goes for you. It goes cashless today. What to know about the billing? The New York Bridge Authority announced the Mid-Hudson Bridge connecting Ulster and Dutchess counties would be cashless beginning midnight Tuesday morning. That means drivers passing under the gantries will be billed through mail by their license plate if they do not have or if they do not have scan an Easy Pass tag. Drivers will still be charged only when traveling east into Dutchess. The Mid-Hudson Bridge was the last of the 5 expanses operated by the Bridge Authority to go cashless, following the Thruway Authority, likewise converting the tolls on I-97. In New York, COVID cases have plummeted almost 30%. Officials are loosening restrictions on public life. New York added only 15,000 new coronavirus cases as of Sunday, down from the previous week tally of 22,000. New York ranked 47th among the states where coronavirus was spreading, fastest on a per-person basis. The end was in sight on multiple COVID safety measures in New York earlier last week due to the state's precipitous drop in cases and hospitalizations in recent weeks. Meanwhile, in Massachusetts, Tri-Town Health expects to say it's time to unmask this week. The regional agency serving Lee, Lenox, and Stockbridge is expected to withdraw its COVID-19 mask directive by the end of the week. The health boards of each town will hold a joint remote meeting at 4 p.m. Thursday to act on the recommendation by the Tri-Town Health Executive Director to eliminate indoor masking guidance effective immediately. The agency's permit holders would be notified directly, he said. The proposal seeking board's approval is based on the Center for Disease Control and Prevention's announcement on Friday that Americans in low and medium-risk counties no longer need to mask, as the Omicron variant's hospitalization rate has declined dramatically. Taking a look meeting-wise, in Sharon, the Board of Selectmen have a meeting this afternoon. Coming up tomorrow in Sharon, the American Rescue Plan Act happens at 6:30. In Salisbury, coming up on Thursday at 10 o'clock in the morning, the Pope Land Design Committee at 6 o'clock. They'll receive initial budgets from the Board of Education and Board of Selectmen. And at 6 o'clock, the Salisbury Affordable Housing Commission will have a special meeting on March 3rd in Salisbury. In North Canaan, coming up tonight at 7 o'clock, it's the Fire District Annual Meeting. In Falls Village tonight, the regular monthly meeting of the Board of Education at Kellogg School at 7 p.m. In Cornwall, a couple of Zoom meetings tonight, Inland Wetlands and Watercourse at 7 p.m., and the Board of Selectmen at 7:30. And in Kent, the Architectural Review Board regular meeting is tonight at 5:30. Coming up tomorrow, the ARPA Assessment Subcommittee regular meeting will be held in Kent at 4:30. Our business brief is underwritten by Morgan's at the Interlaken, interlakenin.com. You'll find them on Facebook and Instagram. They've got a tapas menu, specials every night, interlakenin.com. Also, by Salisbury Bank, salisburybank.com. Dow Jones Industrial Average will start off the day at 33,892.60, the NASDAQ at 13,751.40, and the S&P 500 at 4373.94. We'll take a look at the tri-state forecast. That'll come your way in just a few moments.